So ANC branches have been given several extensions to nominate their preferred leaders ahead of the December elective conference. Now, the party has been struggling to mend factions, we're told, with some of its former leaders having raised concerns over the current administration. Let's get you the views of the alliance partners now. Bring in, as a start, SANCO's Secretary General, that's Richard Mkhungo, who joins us, Mkhungo, I beg your pardon, who joins us via our video link this morning. It's great to have you on the program, sir. Thanks very much indeed for your time. You know, so much has been said about the ANC in the lead up to the elective conference, so much more to be said. But Ntumseni Ntuli was in Cape Town this weekend, and he spoke about the need to move away from slate politics if the party is to correct itself, so to speak. To what extent do you agree with that? Richard, are you able to hear us?
Yes, I'm able to hear.
All right. I'm not sure if you're able to catch that first question, so I'll repeat it to you once again. Ntumseni Ntuli was in Cape Town this weekend, and amongst the many things he said, because we know that he's been nominated by several branches there, is that the party needs to move away from slate politics if it's ever to correct itself, if it's ever to live up to this renewal program, so to speak. I was just wondering to what extent you agree with that.
Good morning, Ayanda and the viewers. Of course, yes, Ayanda. The ANC have to move away from slate politics. I agree. I totally agree with Comrade Ntumseni, because each and every branch of the ANC have a right to nominate whoever they wish to nominate. No, not in a form of slates. But you know, power politics is a robust kind of a game, you know. But yeah, of course, yes, slate politics is a trigger that has resulted to the factionalism that prevails in the ANC.
Yeah. And I wonder whether you reckon the alliance has been able to do enough to pressurize the governing party to move away from that, because it almost seems that the pressure has been applied in other aspects. I mean, we know, for instance, that the public generally has shown levels of dissatisfaction with the governing party, but it almost feels like the alliance is able to hit it where it hurts.
Yeah, look, as alliance partners, at some point in time, we've been party to the kind of state that the ANC is in, and from the experience that we have realized that we also contributed, because we used to take a particular position with regard to those factions that prevail. We have realized that, and we are speaking to our alliance partners against the slates, of course. We do engage them. It has killed the glorious movement, you know. Yes, we are speaking to them, and we are just there. And surely even most leaders talk about unity recently, you know. And we hope that December National Conference, surely we're going to achieve that unity, because the unity of the ANC will also unite alliance partners as well.
Yeah.
So we support, we no longer take a position that say, as this organization, we support individual leader of the ANC. We support the ANC, and it is our duty to make sure that the ANC is united, so that as an agent of change, it leads us correctly.
Speaking about unity within the ANC, let's bring in Madala Masuku, who's the SACP's first Deputy General Secretary. He's also now joining our discussion. Madala, it's great to have you with us here on the AM Report. Thanks very much indeed for making time. The president of the ANC was in the Eastern Cape just yesterday, taking a moment finally to seemingly address the discontent that had been made public by former leaders of the organization. That, of course, is Thabo Mbeki, the former president Jacob Zuma, and Kgalema Motlanthe. And this is what Cyril Ramaphosa had to say in the Eastern Cape. He said he firmly believed that internal party issues, including unhappiness about his leadership, should be discussed within ANC structures. Does he have a point, Madala?
Well, yes, it does have a point on that. because it's within the within the principles of the organization that when you have challenges, we must be able to challenge each other and be able to chastise each other as part of building this character that the South Africa want to see.
He was also at pains to create this perception that there is no infighting among former leaders of the ANC and himself. In fact, he spoke about there being a show of unity at King Misuzuluka's Willitini's coronation, which we know took place on Saturday. Is that how you're also reading it as alliance partners, Madala? That the fact that these are being made public shouldn't be read as there being this irreparable division among those who've once been at the helm of this organization?
No, the ANC, like us as a communist party, we are subscribing to certain principles of democracy. One of them is collectivism, and the other one it is called criticism and self-criticism. So when he says that there is no fight, he's actually saying whatever feedback is having as an intention to criticize in order to build. And you take it that when somebody criticizes you next to you, is reflecting on what he hears in the broader society and also the broader membership. So it's right to be able to say that. But however, others are actually questioning as to whether have we not crossed the border? And it's also a fair criticism too, that in your criticism, don't play a man. You must actually play the principles, guide us, but don't blame it.
Do you feel that's what happened here? Do you feel that these former presidents actually crossed some kind of line in their critique of Ramaphosa's leadership?
Yeah, it is fair, and I think it is fair for them. But the question that will always remain is whether how far do you go? And I think that's what the leadership of the ANC, even including the provinces, are beginning to ask their former leaders. And I was happy to see that I was with you in the handing over the certificate. I was happy to see them, the three of them coming together, jovial and so on, which was showing that they are actually listening to membership, because membership is very critical in the ANC. It's not leadership only that is critical.
Yeah. Speaking about membership, Richard, let's bring you back into the discussion. Those who are also present at Moses Mabhida Stadium this weekend will tell you that the president had a difficult start at the beginning of his speech. In fact, in many instances, he tried to get the attention of the crowd, and it seems that the response was awkward, and that's putting it lightly. What are you reading into that? Because already there'd been commentary around this is a sign of tough times ahead for the president come 2024.
Yeah, there were two issues at the stadium.
Sorry, Richard. Sorry, I was hoping to just get a take from... Madala, I was hoping to get a take from Richard. I'll come back to you on your response to that in a moment. But Richard, let's bring you into the discussion. What do you read into that moment, if anything?
Thank you very much, Ayanda. Trust in our political institutions and leaders has sunk to new lows, and politicians are held in a greater contempt than for generations. It's because of this public spat that is happening within our movement. As SANCO, we discourage the public spat because it is a damage to the integrity of our organization, where everybody says whatever he likes outside the structures of the organization. That has an impact, negative impact, as a result. What you saw during the coronation is a result of these factions that are going on. There is a lot of resentment, and it affects our voters, because voter anger and disenchantment are growing at an alarming rate because of all of these, negative articulations that we make in public domain. We discourage that as SANCO by saying there are right platforms to do so, you know, because the challenge nowadays is that an ANC leader goes at public, criticize other leaders, and other leaders in return also go to the same media and criticize back, you know. Within meetings, we have what we call constructive criticism, you know, as opposed to destructive criticism. When you criticize a leader destructively, you know, it has a negative impact in the organization.
Madala, let me get your take around how the president was received at Moses Mabhida and what this might mean for his prospects of a second term.
Yeah, maybe it's the angle that I was sitting at. There were two things that I realized, and I'm saying this because I've been I've been involved in many occasions in organizing events of that nature. One, the sound was bad. And two, we also had a situation where that event was for the public to come and celebrate. And it's even very difficult to address people in that form. There will be those that will be listening. There will be those that will be excited and continue to do whatever they want to do. So that is what I have seen. I don't know. I didn't observe anything untoward. Maybe it's the angle that I was sitting at.
Sure, perhaps because we saw other people take to the podium who had a completely different reception. But thanks for your time. Really do appreciate your helping us at least connect the dots from your vantage point. Madala Masuku is with the SACP, Richard Mkhungo with SANCO. To both our guests, once again, thanks very much indeed.